Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 3/22/25. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the USS Enterprise. Its continuing mission. Sorry, it sucks. But the whole point of that show, well, not the show. Forget about the show. Forget about it. How can you continue the mission? How can you even start the mission when you can't get into space? Don't you see that? You can't go to space to research shit. You can go to other lands. Yes, you can. Past the Arctic Wall. Yes, you can go there. But you can't get into space. Space doesn't exist. And I'll tell you why. Because rockets, if space did exist, would not work in space. Now they say, oh, well, he must be some sort of scientist to understand how rockets work. Well, no. You take a vacuum-sealed box and you try to light a match in it, and it has no air, the match won't ignite. You see, that's the problem with rockets, is they need ignition. Okay? There is no ignition in space. It's impossible. It's a vacuum. There's no air. You know what air is? That's what I'm breathing right now. That's what you're breathing watching this video. Yeah, but there's no air in space. It's a vacuum. Okay? See, rockets don't work in space. But let's just say in this imaginary Walt Disney World, they actually do. Okay? Okay. So now you're propelling through space in a vacuum with a rocket that cannot ignite in a vacuum. But how do you control this rocket? Where is this rocket going to? Because we are traveling through space in the solar system at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour. So once you leave Earth, just like in a helicopter, this is my secondary question, why can't I just go up in a helicopter and just stay up there and hover, and then just China revolves around, huh? And I'll just land right down. Saves a lot of fuel, doesn't it? That's good for the environment. You know, we'll just all take helicopters and just hover up there, but you can't, okay? Because we don't really know where the spin begins, right? But okay, back to the rockets. Okay, so when you leave space, when you leave Earth, okay, you are now in space. So you've broken out of the gravitational pull of Earth, okay? And now you're in space. You're in free fall right now, supposedly. Okay, so now you've got a rocket, and you're going to go to Mars, or maybe the moon. Okay, because that's only 260, 8,000 miles away. So let's push for that. So you are going to propel this rocket into space with a mathematical computation here on Earth, an unmanned ship that has this math inside of it that's going to land on this dusty, rocky ball in space. And it's landing there right now as we speak. As a matter of fact, there are rovers now, right now, on the moon. If you think about this fucking nonsense NASA has been giving you, if you put your mind to it and actually grasp the stupidity of this bullshit, okay, but yet maybe I should put a white coat on and give you bullshit, okay? Then you'll believe me, right? That's how much nonsense the average person believes, that they can actually go to Mars, to the moon, to Saturn, to Pluto, to fucking all of this nonsense, and that gravity exists, that it actually, we know how it works. When scientists themselves have specifically said, we have no idea how gravity works. We just know what it does. over and over and over again. Year after fucking year after fucking year, we have been telling you this, but people are still not waking up. Okay, they're still believing this fucking nonsense that SpaceX is going to go to the fucking Mars. We're going to colonize the Mars. What? Wait a minute. Why are we not colonizing the moon right now? Okay? Why isn't there a fucking Wendy's up there? Why am I not playing baseball right now on the... baseball on the moon. Just like golf, right? Neil Armstrong did that. Did he shoot off a golf ball? Where did that golf ball ever go? It must have went out. Oh, I know where it is. It's by the Tesla car, right? Yes, it's floating around out there. It might have landed on Mars. It sure has. And that's where your brain is, on fucking Mars right now. If you believe any of this shit. If you believe in rockets that can propel themselves into space. If you believe anybody is ever going to land on anything ever again, you're delusional. You will never, ever see that again. And your grandchildren, and before that, and after that, and who the fuck cares, you'll never, ever, ever see that again. They got away with it once, and they can't get away with it again. I don't know where I'm going with this. I get so pissed off. I mean, with all the shit that's going on right now, and it's threefold now, and I'm so happy it's happening so quickly now with the politics and space, and now they're actually trying to do something because they're scared. They're scared of something. Could it be the two suns up there that will eventually be able to see it? Could it be that people are waking up to the nonsense? You know, maybe we haven't landed on anything with a person and walked out on anything physically in the last, almost 60 years now. Are actually people waking up and they're getting scared, is my question. Perhaps. They must be. Okay? They must be. I'm just glad it's all happening, and I'm glad we could all witness this. See, once you become a flat earther, you realize that, everything is fake and it's all bullshit, and you've got to deal with it, and I do not recommend you flat smack anybody at all right now in this time. Maybe 10 years ago, but right now I don't recommend it. I don't think it's advisable, to be honest with you. There's a lot of NPCs out there. I always wondered this, that all the flat earthers out there and all the blue dots that are on Dave's app, they're all within like a 30-mile radius of me. I think when we chose to come down here to live here in this digital world, the plausible possibility of beyond flat earth, I'll get into that in the next video, and it's just screams fucking Matrix all over it. It really does. Okay, let me ask you a question. Quick question here about the sun's reflection. Okay, yeah. How can there be sunlight beaming off below a jetliner up in the air? Yeah, that would be an airplane up in the air. How can the sun being pardon my English there. How can the sun beam off the bottom of that fucking plane? Okay? Because everybody thinks that the earth is round and the sun's up here and the plane is right here. How can it do that at any time of the day? We're not just talking the morning here. We're talking the afternoon. We're talking in late afternoon. The sun is always reflecting off the bottom of the fucking plane. Why is it that we have pictures videos of the clouds behind the sun and in front of the sun. Why is that? Why is it that we can zoom in on a fucking boat miles and miles and miles away and bring it up right there on the screen? Because there is no curvature. Show us curvature. Show us something. And they never will. We've been doing this for so long now. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars out there for somebody to prove to us that we live on this spinning fucking wet ball in space and nobody's grabbed it. Not a single scientist will come out and say anything. Nobody will say a fucking thing in an authoritative figure at all, because they know they'll lose their career. They will lose the money that they're getting. They'll lose their degrees, and they'll lose everything. Deep down, they know it's flat, motionless. There's no stars except lights in the sky. That's all that is. I was going to take my P1000. I want to do an experiment. Unfortunately, it's cloudy here. When it gets clear, I want to show you that I can zoom in on whatever wandering star out there you want to call it, Mercury or Saturn or whatever it is, and leave it focused on that, and then just whip the fucking camera around and show you I don't even have to refocus it on a star. Okay? Because a star should be millions and millions of miles further out. But if my zoom is on that fake planet, I should have to zoom in on the star, right? I should have to readjust it, but you don't need to. I'll get that on videotape footage and I'll upload it. And I'll have it in a little box up here and I'll be talking below. Okay? And we'll see what all the trolls have to say about that. And I hope all the trolls out there are happy. What about all the recent mission about the astronauts that just came back? 9 months. Oh, man. I mean, that footage was so unbelievably fake, okay, that I can't even imagine any trolls out there would even believe that bullshit. Unbelievable how fake that is. Just so bad. Her roots and her hair, down to the still fucking water, down to the dolphins swimming around. God, I'll tell you, if you don't see this by now, you know you're definitely paid. And unfortunately, I have to say, you're fighting for something that is just imaginary. You know, really, if Walt Disney was still alive, you should have worked for the play park over there. You would have been an excellent employee to continue the lie. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.